Hi, this is Kathy for Transgender, and this afternoon I was out wandering around taking a short break, and I was in this garden and saw this beautiful butterfly chair, and I thought this might make a beautiful place to make this week's video. The topic for this week, which was suggested by Carly, is that we would talk about the effect all of this discussion about using the restroom of your birth gender and all of the bathroom bills, which are in front of a number of different state legislatures, have actually had on our using the restroom of our choice. Last Friday, I was working in Houston, and when I first went into the office where I had been using the women's restroom for a number of years, I had the project manager there that I was seeing come up to me very politely and say, "We would appreciate it if you would use the gender-neutral bathroom," and show me where that bathroom was. He was not apologetic, he was just very straightforward, and he said, "I just do not want any problems with anybody since we are having such a discussion here in the office about transgender use of bathrooms, and you're one of the people, the only person that we know that's transgender." So obviously I had been the topic of their discussion there, and he had come to a resolution which they felt was acceptable to them and which would be acceptable to me. So I followed their desires and used the gender-neutral bathroom while I was there doing the work that I had to do for them. This past week I was watching some YouTube videos, and I ran across a YouTube video by a transgendered man who said that he would never ever be a man, cis man, he would always be a transgendered man. And I think that's very true about me as a transgendered woman. No matter how much I look like a woman, act like a woman, want to be a woman, people will always view me as a transgendered woman. And I think that is what is at the very heart of this problem. The other thing that I've noticed concerning all the bathroom bills and the use of transgendered restrooms is that when I travel in the last month, I have been a lot more hesitant to use the women's restroom. In a lot of places where there's nothing else for me to do, I have gone and used the women's restroom, but I will have to say that this heightened awareness of transgender people using the restroom of their desired gender rather than using the restroom of the birth gender has greatly affected me as a trans woman and how I approach restrooms. In dealing with the transgender situation, I have always made sure that I have a letter in my purse from my therapist that states that I am transgender, and a letter saying that I am on hormone replacement therapy and should be treated as a woman by my doctor, which I visit to get my hormones. However, I'm not sure how much weight that would really carry in a real tight situation where someone called the police on me. I'm not sure what they would do. I wish I had the gender marker changed on my driver's license and on my state ID, but I do not. And so that is one of the weaknesses I have. In order to have that gender marker changed, I have to have SRS surgery, and I am not able to do that. So I feel that going down the road, I will always have a certain amount of dysphoria or a certain amount of concern whenever I use the women's restroom. I myself will be very happy when this flurry of restroom bills goes through, and when people go back to not thinking about, are you transgender or are you not? I would say that probably 95 to 98% of the time I am not read as being a man. I am read as being a woman, and I am not questioned, and I haven't been questioned for 2 or 3 years about am I transgender and am I a man? However, I can really see the problem for those people who are early in their transition when they are not as passable as they would like to be, and they start using the women's restroom for the first time, or using the restroom of their desired gender rather than their birth gender. I can see that the police are being called. My caution to you as transgender people who are going into the appropriate restroom for your desired gender is that you make sure you have been to your hormone therapist and have a letter from your hormone therapist saying that you are transitioning or are transitioned, and that you have a letter from your doctor saying that you're on hormones and being treated to be a transgender person. I think that that would probably get you out of any legal problems that you have. But I don't know anybody here in the Houston area who has tried that I have talked to, or has had any problems. There is just a certain number of times, like last Friday, when I was asked to use the general neutral bathroom. You must realize these people where I'm working knew me before I transitioned, and so they know very much about my transgender history. At other places where they don't know that history, I have not had any problems, and they have never questioned or asked me to go to the appropriate restroom. Well, those are my thoughts for this week. I thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos from Trans by Deaf, please sign up. We would encourage you to sign up. And I will see you again next week. You have a good afternoon. Bye.